So let's start with a roll call of the members of the committee.
Certainly. Councilors, Gordon Starr,
Here.
Councilor Mendez,
Yeah.
Chair of Committee, Councilor Paula Schnapp,
Here.
Councilor Nicholas Atzelis, Councilor Tracy Shaughnessy. You have quorum.
Great. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is public comment. And I know that there's at least one person in the breakout room for public comment.
Let me just give her a minute. She should be over shortly.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
Sorry, I got muted.
Hello, Ms. Powell. Are you here for public comment?
I can't hear you.
Are you here for public comment?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I had you muted on there. Thank you. Yes, I understand that Ms. Jennifer Hinckley Needham may be on the agenda tonight. I know she was continued. I just wanted to give my highest recommendation. I think she'd be a tremendous asset.
So Ms. Powell, she is not on the agenda tonight. Was she up for renewal, or was there a reason why you thought she would be on the agenda?
She was unable to make the one, I think it was in November.
She actually goes by two names, Paula.
Okay.
She's on there as Jennifer Hinckley.
Hinckley Needham. Oh, she put
Okay,
Hinckley.
gotcha. All right. Thank you. Yes. And
I didn't want to take too much of your time. I just wanted to give my highest recommendation. And again, congratulations to you as the new chair of the appointments committee.
thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate that. Gordon, did you have something you wanted to ask? Nope. No. Okay, great. All right. I don't know if you want to stay in the meeting or if you want to go back out to breakout, or Cindy, what's the usual plan?
I thank you for asking me. I have to chair the Human Services Committee meeting at 5:30, and I have to leave the office probably in about 20 minutes. So I'll stick around for that long if I may, and then I have to hightail home, or I'm going to be late for that one.
Yeah, you can just sign off, Ms. Powell, anytime you want.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening to everyone. I just wanted to do my recommendation. Thank you.
you very much, Ms. Powell.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Okay. So at the pleasure of the other committee members, I think we will move to the two members of the Youth Commission, and see no opposition to that. Cindy, if you want to bring in Ms. Grant, we can start that. And I will just make a brief introduction to Ms. Grant, and then I will look to the committee members to ask questions. I did forward you the 3 questions. If you think those are appropriate for this position, please use those, or use whatever you feel is appropriate to interview. So thank you. All right.
She should be joining soon.
Cindy, would you mind texting Councilor Shaughnessy and Atzelis to see if they are planning to join us?
Not at all.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Grant, you can unmute your microphone, and if you have video, feel free to please turn it on.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Welcome, Ms. Grant. You're here with the Appointments Committee for a position on the Youth Commission, and we have 2 vacancies. So we would really be excited to hear about why you'd like to be on the Youth Commission, and I defer to my committee members to begin the questions or interview questions.
I have one quick question, Shalanda. How are you? My name's Gordon Starr. I'm a town councilor.
Nice.
It's under work experience. It says you did something with your dad.
Yeah.
I can't read that word. Sorry.
Last summer, I did a little bit of construction with my dad.
Excellent.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
It didn't change your career?
No.
No, it's hard work in the summer. I know. Okay. So have you watched any of the youth commission meetings?
Like on
Um,
video?
Yes.
I've mostly attended them.
Okay.
I've never watched a video. I just attend them.
Well, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What how can you see yourself helping the committee? What
Um,
go ahead.
I'm a person that loves to give feedback on like whatever topic like we're talking about or just in general. If I feel interested in or if I'm drawn to like any topic that the youth commission is talking about, I will be happy to give feedback and ideas on it.
Okay. I mean, they have lots of projects you could get involved in, I know.
Yeah.
It's good.
Counselor
So-
Mendez.
Hi, Shalonda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good. Are you involved in any other town government extracurricular activities? I'm sorry, student government.
No.
Extracurricular activities, any sports?
No. This is
No?
my first.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Getting
you.
involved, doing one thing is better than doing nothing. So that's
True.
it for me.
Great. Shalonda, what grade are you?
Yeah, that was my
I'm in 9th grade.
Ninth grade. Good, because if you're on the commission, then we can have you for a number of years, I hope. So that would be great.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the other commission members or have you, because you said you've attended some of the meetings and I didn't know
Yeah.
if someone invited you and said, hey, you'd be really great on this committee.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know Luke, Izzy, and Maddie. I've had a lot of interactions with them because they've helped me get to here now. So
excellent.
great. That's wonderful. Anything that the youth commission does throughout the year that really impresses you or that you're hoping to get involved with?
yeah, so when I first started, well, when I first got invited to be in the youth commission, they said I could talk about like things that happen inside of Barnstable or
Mhm.
like things that I think need to be improved in Barnstable. So I was really interested in that because I know there's a lot of things that needs to be improved in Barnstable. So
Great. All right. Well, we're
Sounds good.
excited about having new voices. So
thank you.
thank you for applying. Just so you know our process, this appointments committee will make a recommendation to the full town council, and then the town council has to review our recommendation and make a vote. So depending on the calendar, this could take a couple weeks, or I hope it doesn't take more than a couple weeks. But if you don't hear from us, the official word, don't worry. It's the process to taking a while. I believe our administrator, Miss Cindy Lovell, may communicate with you sooner than that if the recommendation is positive out of the committee today. So, all right. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. So with this, what if I don't like hear back? Like, how would I know like if I'm accepted or not? Like,
Cindy, could you tell us how she's going to find out?
Sure. Good evening, Shalonda. How are you? My name's Cynthia Lovell. I'm the town council administrator. You're the one that I've been communicating with through emails. So how this works is if you're recommended to serve on the youth commission tonight, you'll hear from me first thing tomorrow morning. If you're
Okay.
not, you'll also hear from me first thing tomorrow morning. It's a very quick turnaround from when the committee makes the recommendation. So you'll hear from me definitely tomorrow, one way or the other.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you
Okay.
again for
Thank you, Shalonda. Yeah.
coming this afternoon,
Thank you.
and we will hope to be seeing much more of you. Thank you, Shalonda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Okay. So Cindy, before we take our next interview, any update on our fellow committee members?
No, they have not reached out to me yet. I did email both of them and sent them both a message.
Okay, well, let's hope that they can join us a little bit later. So we will bring Megan. Hello, Megan. Welcome.
Hi.
This is the Town Council's Appointment Committee, and we're going to be interviewing you today for a position on the Youth Commission.
Okay.
And so we'll just roll right into it. I'm going to ask my fellow committee members if they have any questions they'd like to ask you. Counselor Starr, no,
me.
Counselor, we'll start with Counselor Mendez this time.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for applying.
Yeah.
Are you involved in any other student government clubs, activities, extracurricular sports?
Yeah, I'm a part of the Key Club for Barnstable High School, and I also do field hockey, swim, and golf.
Oh, very nice. All right, that's the one questions I have.
Sounds good. So Megan, what do you plan to do next summer? Any
Next
plans
summer?
yet?
Yeah, I do field hockey for high school, but I also do field hockey for a club team year round. So I
Great.
do field hockey in the summer, winter, and fall and spring. So
Wow.
I do a lot of clinics in the summer, and I also go to the beach a lot. And yeah, that's
Have
pretty
you-
much field
That's
hockey.
it. Have you ever been to a meeting of the youth
Yeah.
commission? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. And what led to your wanting to be on the youth commission? What is this?
It's a good opportunity because I can like meet new people and like learn life skills and address like issues that are important.
Okay. Sounds good. It's a great committee because the students actually run it, so it's they're into a lot, they do a lot of different projects through and programs throughout the year, and you'll get to jump right in and help out. Sounds good.
Great.
Thank you.
Megan, are you a freshman this year?
Yeah, I'm a freshman.
Great. And do you know any other members on the commission?
Yeah, I know a few of them. Yeah.
Good. So it's nice to be able to kind of come in with a few folks that you already are comfortable with. Any activities that the Youth Commission does that you are really interested in or think they do a great job at?
Like substance abuse,
Mm-hmm.
that, and like environmental issues.
Okay, good. All right, so I think we've asked you our questions. I'll give you a little bit of information about the process from here on out, and then if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. We will be making tonight a recommendation that will go to the full town council at probably not the next, but the subsequent meeting. Cindy Lovell, our administrator, will be notifying you tomorrow, what our decision is. So at least you'll understand that. But the process for it to go before the town council get approved sometimes can take a few weeks. So we're hoping to move that along as quickly as possible, but it could be in mid-March before you get an official word that you're on the commission. So just want to let you know. Any questions of us?
No.
No? Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming this afternoon, and we hope to see you at the commission.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Right. We're going to do Melissa Alden next. Cindy, do you want to bring Melissa? Before you do that, Melissa has a lot of interest, so I'll kind of ask her if she has any priorities. She also had two others. She had Board of Health, and what was the other one? Housing Committee?
Main Street.
Yeah, no, but she had, on her original application, she had picked 5 things, but some of them were not vacancies right now, so just want to let you know. Oh, there she is. Welcome.
Hi,
Welcome.
overambitious, I assume.
No, sometimes you want to like put down what you think and not knowing what's available. So that's great. Just wanted to welcome you. This is the Appointments Committee of the Town Council, and I'm the current chair. We are interviewing you for up to 3 of the positions that you're interested in. 2 of the committees currently don't have vacancies, but just so you know, we will be having reappointments or vacancies in some of these committees. So stay tuned and express any interest if one of these other ones are really where your passion is. Right now, you have listed Council of Aging, Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission, and we also have 2 vacancies as associate members on the Zoning Board of Appeals. So those are the 3 committees that have current vacancies. If you don't mind, do you have any priorities in terms of what you're most interested in, how we might ask you questions or?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
yes. Well, thank you for having me. And yes, this is very new to me. So I'm like, I don't know if I should check as many as possible. I know I said up to 5. But definitely, out of those 3, Council on Aging, I think that kind of goes along a lot in my wheelhouse and, what a lot of my focus has been over the last few years.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I'll ask my fellow counselors to begin the interview process.
Great.
So I'll start. So Melissa, my name's Gordon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How does the Council on Aging, what have you been doing that meshes with that?
So actually, I got my master's in law and elder law and estate planning, and I earned it in 2019. And prior to that, I actually participated in the SHINE program. So I became a certified SHINE counselor. It was a long, intensive program, and it was quite interesting to get involved in that sense and get to go into the Barnstable Council on Aging and work with individuals and trying to help out with their health insurance benefits. And I felt that it helped me as well as I went into full-time law profession. I was a police officer in Yarmouth for 11 years. I did a lot of work on the community intervention team. We had a lot of dementia issues. We're trying to figure out how to address the issues of where we're going to a particular residence where somebody has retired to the Cape and doesn't have family here, and what to do and what resources to get in place, how to work with elder services. So I worked with Eddie a lot with elder services, trying to coordinate how to take care of the elder population. I currently am on the Elder Abuse Coalition with Independence House and a few other local players in the community, focusing on elder abuse and prevention of abuse. And actually, my law office, we just signed up for Meals on Wheels so that we can, be involved, volunteer. I'm a big fan of volunteering. That's why I'm kind of circling back. I feel like I need to do more in Barnstable. I did 11 years in Yarmouth. I did a lot of volunteering there. And, right now I do practice full-time law. I do guardianships of incapacitated persons. So, again, conservatorships, guardianships, working with elder services, working with the courts. And that's why I think Council on Aging probably would be a good fit for me.
I would say so. I agree. Thank you. That's
Jeff
wonderful.
and the kitty. No, what is that? That's a dog.
Yeah.
I thought it was,
It snuck on. I thought it was a feline, but anyway. go ahead.
No, don't. And we look alike too, so
Yeah.
I have a hard time telling us apart. As far as Melissa, nice to meet you. I'm Jeff. This is Maximus. As far as the elderly population, specifically in town, what do you think is the most urgent issue?
The most urgent, well, I think housing is a huge issue, obviously with everybody. You know, and what I hate seeing, and what I actually have helped many people do is actually spend down all their assets that they worked their whole life for in order to qualify for, you know, a certain living arrangement. You know, my concern too is also of the different facilities and a lack of oversight of some of the nursing homes in those facilities, who they're hiring, who's coming in, having access to the elder population. Again, you know, with the abuse side of it, we see financial, we see physical abuse. And then, you know, it's the nursing homes, I know a lot of them have actually shut down too because of funding, lack of staff. So again, you know, we're having an elder population who, you know, where do they go? You know, when I try to place somebody that I have a guardianship over, they want to stay local. You know, if they grew up on the Cape, if, you know, families here, but we don't have the resources now, we're having to find places off Cape. And again, everywhere there's been a number of places that have shut down. So I think housing, you know, and then I'd like to see a little more intergenerational access. How that would work, I don't know. You know, as a police officer, I always worry too about, you know, you don't want to put somebody in a conflict. You know, Big Brothers Big Sisters has that great lower generation with a, you know, somebody in their working class and a younger individual. I'd love to see something with the older population as well. It gets another eyes on them, because again, we have a lot of people who have moved here that don't have family here, or, you know, their children are, you know, grandparents, and so there's just not that I don't see as much of a community with it as much as I used to. And I think that would be a good thing to work on is a more intergenerational.
Great. I'd like to welcome two other counselors to our meeting, Counselor Shaughnessy and Counselor Atzlis. We are interviewing Melissa Alden, and she is particularly interested in the Council of Aging position. So if either of you two have any questions, please
One comment.
Yes, please.
Comment. What you just shared is very interesting, what you said about the housing, because often when we think about housing needs, we think about working families, you know, and younger people just getting out of college, high school, so on and so forth. I've never thought about it in that aspect, and I never knew it was such an issue, but I'm glad you said that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you know, just sorry, that's my dog. It's a pup. He just stole treats off my counter because I'm not watching him. He's 4 months old. She's learning. So what I've also seen, you know, with the nursing homes too, we have, you know, obviously the opioid problem, and the beds that are being taken over too, are sometimes for somebody who's in recovery, and you know, we need recovery beds too. We need mental health beds. So you know, my clients, you know, or the respondents that I represent, yeah, I'm having a lot of difficulty finding places for them to stay.
Yeah. Nick or Tracy, anything you'd like to ask, or no, you kind of you're muted if you do.
I'll go ahead. So
Right.
I'm sorry I missed a good chunk of your interview, Melissa. I was tied up with a senior whose husband passed away yesterday. So not one I wanted to push off a phone call. So I didn't get to hear what you said about housing, but I will say a lot of times what I find is they're wanting to downsize. They're lonely out in the subdivision that worked for them 10 years ago, but the apartment, the condo where they'd feel more comfortable doesn't exist. So I'm glad to hear that your preference sounds like it is the Council on Aging. Sad to hear that Maddie Noonan is leaving communications, but happy she's going to the Mass Council on Aging. I reached out to Melissa earlier in the week because I was hoping this was her preference. You know, the Council on Aging, certainly that board needs some younger perspectives, but also perspectives, people that are thinking outward 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But I also think it's really important to have people like Melissa who are doing this work in the community, because we are typically meeting with a different group of seniors than, for example, those in skilled care, or, you know, a lot of times we're still hearing from them while they're in the community. So I'm excited, Melissa, to hear that that is what you're interested in. And I know that obviously Melissa practices elder law. So I know this is something she's passionate about. I wanted to ask you, Melissa, with your experience as a police officer, I can imagine that our gray economy was a good chunk of your work. And what was that like for you? What sort of issues are you called out to in the community? Do you encounter a lot of, like, for example, with dementia or different things like that?
Yes. So what I spoke about is, so I was on the crisis intervention team with the town of Yarmouth. I actually did a lot of the elder work because I did have the background with my law degree, and they knew that I was taking courses towards a master's in elder law. But what we respond to is, seniors in distress. We get the same calls, and you go there and you hear one story, and you go there another time, it's the same story. And, you kind of get in the motion, and, no family members here. Everybody retires here. As I said, it's the second, their family's off Cape, trying to access people, find out who their family is. And, then getting them services. And, it's the same thing with the conduit of mental health and substance use. Like, how do you get them the help? How do you get them in the right place? Because, they can go up to the hospital and present fine. Because you talk to one person one time, and then they're released to go back into the community. So what we found is we didn't have a way to protect that person. So we worked at Elder Services. Eddie, I can't remember his last name. We had the group that would get together and kind of brainstorm, try to come to a consensus as to how to deal with the problem. And then, because Barnstable was so close, in Dennis, we would work with them too if we had the same people that, if they're driving, we got to get rid of, get them off the road to make sure they stay safe. And not wandering, those type of issues.
Yep. Nick, any questions, comments? You're
I'm
good?
still listening. No, I'm good. I'm still listening.
Okay, great. Well, Melissa, thank you. You seem very qualified, and I'm glad that your interest is in this committee at this point in time. Just to let you know our process from here, the committee will make a recommendation today, and Cindy, our council administrator, will be notifying you tomorrow of our decision. But then it needs to go to the full town council, and that's where things can sometimes take a couple of weeks. So you will be informed once it gets to the council and it's voted on, and then you will have a chance to get sworn in and join the committee. And we're eager to have that happen as quickly as possible. So do you have any questions for us?
No, I did my homework. I was watching a lot of videos. I'm very impressed with a lot of the people in our town. Some of the resumes I was reading, I was absolutely incredible. And, it's amazing, the skill and the diversity that we have here in this community. So, I look forward to hopefully serving on the Council on Aging, and maybe a few other committees or, commissions down the road.
Sure.
And I appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Right. All right. We had a chance to interview the 2 youth commission members, but I think you would be equally impressed with them, and we'll discuss them later. So, all right. Oh, Jen. Oh, actually, Cindy. Oh, she just going to the break room?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I guess Barry would be the next one, right? Another eminently qualified person for the committee.
Mr. Scheingold, you're all set to unmute and use your video if you'd like.
Sure. Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Scheingold. I'm Paula Schnepp, the chair of the Appointments Committee. This is a standing committee of the Town Council, and we will be reviewing your application to be on the Infrastructure and Energy Committee today. So welcome. I'm glad that you applied. And I'm going to ask my fellow counselors if they have any questions. Counselor Mendez.
How you doing, Mr. Shangold? I'm Jeff. Very nice to meet you.
Great, nice to meet you too.
What sector of the energy industry did you work in?
Gosh,
Oh, that many?
yeah, over a lot of different sectors. So I started out working as a lawyer for the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission that regulates the electricity and the natural gas industries at the federal level. I worked for an electric utility as a lawyer and for their affiliate, which was an independent power generator. I was general counsel, then senior executive of one of the first power marketing companies, and worked with developers of power plants and utilities in that capacity. And then I started my own business about 22 years ago, and work mostly in the renewable energy space, generation, work for developers, but more in the last 15 years for with utilities and government agencies overseeing power procurements.
That's all?
It's been a long time.
I think you're a little, I think you're, you're going to squeak by with a little bit of qualification.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you for applying.
Yeah. Thanks.
Gordon, you look poised for a question.
I'm forming one here.
Didn't mean to rush.
So Barry, how can you help this committee, I guess, is my question. I mean, we're looking at electric vehicle charging stations because there seems to be a lot of money out there at the moment. Maybe canopies, sort of municipal projects. So do you have an opinion on those or any perspective?
Yeah, I'm very interested in that. I've just by background, I started out actually working on one of the early climate change studies for the National Science Foundation almost 50 years ago. But I think from a process standpoint, I would talk to other members of the committee and particularly the chairman, see, what where they're going, where the needs are, what other people's interests are, where mine are, and what I can do. But I don't have a specific agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Tracy?
I'll go ahead. As Paula already said, find ourselves very lucky in Barnstable that your application are the kinds of applications we receive for our boards, committee, commissions, because obviously we'd be fortunate to have someone, with your background on our infrastructure and energy committee. And I'm really happy to see that for the latter part of your career with your own company, it was a focus on green energy and renewables. I don't know if you're aware, but last year we adopted a sort of a policy statement on climate change, and the town is committed to making moves in that direction. We also have some set questions we like to ask. So one of those questions is sort of, how would you define consensus? And especially with your law background, how do we get there, especially particularly within the confines of a board or committee?
Yeah, so trying to get people to be generally in agreement or where they're comfortable. Sometimes it's hard to get everyone totally in agreement, but to get people comfortable. And the other thing to consider is, what are the interests that are being affected that may not be represented on the committee per se, but are important in advancing the goals. For example, when I was overseeing the power procurements in Massachusetts and dealing with the electric utilities and state government agencies, there were interests that weren't at the table. For example, the power developers and how they could finance their projects and the environmental impacts from the projects and the people who would bear those that should be considered as well. if the projects are to be successful. So that's kind of my take on that.
Thank you. I think that's a great answer.
Councilor Atzelis, anything you'd like to add?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, Mr. Scheingold, as we've said, have very impressive, and I think we'd be very fortunate to have you join this committee and help us make progress in so many areas that, we just need to. So just wanted to let you know the process from here. The committee will be making voting and making a recommendation that will then go to our town. We'll be making that tonight, and that recommendation will be going to the full town council. Cindy Lovell, our town administrator, council administrator, will be letting you know tomorrow about our vote, but the council process could be a couple weeks out. So we want you to know that it's to be a little patient, but we're eager to have you get on the ground with the committee. So we'll try to move this along as quickly as possible. Do you have any questions for us?
No, not at this time. I mean, it's just great to meet you all virtually.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and we hope to see you soon.
Great. Thanks so
All right.
much. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Oh, man.
There you go. Welcome, Ms. Brown.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. I'm Paula Schnepp. I'm the chair of the appointments committee. And along with my fellow town councilors, we're here to have a conversation with you about your interest in being on the Recreation Commission. And without further ado, I'm going to turn to my fellow councilors to see if they have any questions they'd like to start.
Okay.
Nick, I figured you might have a good one for this.
Oh, no, well, maybe a little bit. So, Sharon, thank you for applying and thank you for taking the time to meet with us. So what's your familiarity with the Recreation Commission, what it does for the town and specifically for the recreational programs in the community? Just want to get some idea on your familiarity with it.
Well, I know it's more of an advisory council, not so much, a lot of power, I guess is the word for it. Sorry, but but I know, I read how you do the tour of the town and check the facilities every few years, more advising of, the needs of the town and, the generations that we have, the different generations we have.
Okay. And based on your knowledge of what's going on in town as far as the recreational programs, do you see any areas of need? What can be improved on? What areas where the recreation department's doing well? Where do you see any deficiencies or positive things?
One of the deficiencies I see actually is in the community center. The fact that there's no snack bar. I think it's sad to have such a great facility. I mean, my kids didn't play there. My kids left, played in Kennedy. And, that was one of the things, even though, known for great ice and a great snack bar. But now to see all of that empty, I think is a waste of space and resources. My grandchildren now play there. So I would just like to see different things like that, keep up the usefulness of certain, programs for the town, and for just making it a place where people would want to come play a tournament or a figure skating, program and, help all the restaurants, the hotels, all those things. So, that's the one probably deficiency I see. I know Little League is another one, they just having more of a consistency with the programs that are actually in the town, knowing what what they have to take care of and what the town takes care of. I know that tends to be an issue. But we do have some great fields and would love to see those programs utilize them more to bring in more awareness from other places outside our town.
Okay. May I follow up?
Sure.
So I'd be curious to know, as far as the snack bar, do you know why that snack bar is still empty? And then what would be some of your ideas if you were on this commission to improve and bring more activities to the youth and community center, and actually have the snack bar be, functioning again?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics. I've looked into a little bit. I know there was only really one person in the running. I think that there's a large buy-in, it seems like. But I haven't delved into it too much. But I would think, trying to open up the net to see who else would be interested. There's, different marketing ideas to try to market that and market it to be, places once again, because there's, the volleyball tryouts. If that would have helped, I was there for a hockey game and the volleyball tryouts. It was great to see the whole facility full, but there was nothing for people to actually, they would have to come in with their Dunkin' Donuts. And, even if you had that, like I said, it's such a beautiful facility. And coming from somebody that spent all their time at Kennedy, that's one thing that they had. And, my grandkids were actually skating out of Falmouth, and they're known for, okay, Tuesday night, I get to have dinner at the rink, kind of thing, and making it more of a place where the families kind of hang out a little bit longer.
Thank you.
Other questions? Tracy?
Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hey,
Feel like
Tracy.
it's a long time since I've seen you.
I know. How are you?
O'Shaughnessy's daughter. So I've known you in quite a few capacities. But really, I guess what struck me the most about your application was in your cover letter, where you said, although I did not grow up here, my husband did. My children have, but more importantly, this is where my grandchildren are now growing up. And I think, in today's world, whether it are blended families or single parents, we see more and more grandparents involved, either in taxing grandchildren around, raising grandchildren. So I just wanted, kudos for you for looking out for all the grandkids in town. Because grandparents are very much involved in those things and very much have a passion and maybe more fight to get with for their grandchildren, what maybe, they were too busy working when it was their own children. I wanted to ask you, outside of that, how do you feel that your perspective coming in will be beneficial to the Recreation Committee?
One thing I do think of, obviously, me, I've been a lot of networking over the years, a lot of marketing. And I think that's what it really needs to be, to market. I see a drop in a lot of the programs. To see the hockey program being as low as it is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. We used to have 4 teams at every level, and now there's barely one. And, I think that needs to be something that, bring more kids in that way. Bring more basketball, bring more volleyball, like really make, once again, bring that back to the town, because that's where the town was, the community is. So that's what I'd like to see. Really, almost marketing it just better.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thanks, Trace.
Any other questions? Jeff or Gordon?
No.
I have a quick question. Have you had much opportunity to participate in any recreational activities as an adult? And do you find any of our programs to be really strong, or some that need some assistance?
No, actually. And the reason being is, we did join we've been dying to try the pickleball, and we actually joined the pickleball league, but unfortunately, most of that's during the day. My husband and I still work. So, having things like that for the adults that still work would be a wonderful thing to see some programs, because I know I have other friends in the same boat, like, oh, I want to try that, but I can't, it's all during the day.
Some more evening programs for adults.
Yes, very
Right.
much so.
I kudos to that idea. So I appreciate that. All right. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, I think we've, I will let you know what our process is. This,
Okay.
after after these interviews are completed, the committee will review all the candidates and make a decision or recommendation to go forward to the full council. Our town council administrator, Cindy Lovell, will be contacting you tomorrow about the outcome of that decision. And then that decision goes to the full council. That can take a couple of weeks, 3 to 4 in some cases. So there'll be a bit of a lag between our decision and when you would actually be selected and sworn into the committee. So just wanted to let you know how that works. Do you have any questions of us?
No, I just appreciate the time.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and expressing your interest, and we hope to hear from you very soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Have a great
take
day.
care. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Miss Hinckley Needham. Can you hear me? Oh, you're still. Okay, now can you unmute?
Now I've unmuted.
You're good. We're good. We've got two-way communication. Welcome. I'm the Paula Schnepp, the current chair of the Appointments Committee, and I'm here with my fellow committee members to talk to you about your interest in the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission. So without further ado, I will ask my fellow counselors if they have any questions for you.
Okay.
And Jeff?
Hi, Jennifer. I'm Jeff. How are you?
Hi, Jeff. Good, thank you.
That's good. You grew up here?
I did. Born and raised in Centerville, went to college, then came back to raise my kids. I'm
What-
a Hinckley, so.
Did you
we
relate to
go-
Melissa?
Yeah, she's my sister.
Okay, I see Melissa every morning at the gym. Went to high school with Melissa. What year did you graduate?
I was 85, I think 5 years older than her.
Oh, okay, so I was 86. So you probably knew my brother Ron, who was 82. I'm sure you knew Demeet, Nick's brother.
Yep,
Oh, okay.
yep.
Well, you answered all my questions.
Okay, yeah.
You're born and raised here. You're a local, so you're good with me.
Yep, okay, good, thank you.
All right.
Right.
Is that the end?
Any other line of questioning of Nick?
Jennifer, how are you?
Good. How are you, Nick?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So, as far as the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission, as you know, I guess what are some of the things that you think that commission needs to continue to protect, as far as that district's concerned, and what is it about your background that you think would be beneficial to the commission?
Well, like growing up on the Cape, I spent a lot of time when I was younger on Main Street. My grandmother was an assessor for the town of Barnstable, so I'd meet her there and we'd go to lunch and shopped at Butner's and Puritans. And I feel it's becoming like a $5 t-shirt store street. I want it to be like Falmouth Main Street or Chatham Main Street, where people come and I don't know. I just don't want it to go downhill. I want to help to bring more. I love like Unity Day and the car show and the football parade and all that. When I was little, we had a Thanksgiving parade. I'd love to bring more community